Hello everyone, this is the Super Wig Maker, and today I'm making a standalone video which is part of another procedure. I'm making a new hairline for a lady, and I just separated long strands from this bundle. This is virgin Indian hair, and it's very thin, and she's white, so I just decided to use this because this hair is very thin and it's very good to be used for that. And I also got the longest strands. I do have a little bit of short strands in there just to make it more realistic, but most of it is just, long. It's thick until the ends, and I really want this to be thick until the ends because she wants to have a big coverage on the top of her head. But on this video I'm not really talking about that. She has naturally dark brown. This is actually black. She has dark brown hair, and she also has a little bit of highlights in there, so I really need to emulate her own hair, and I can't use this hair as it is, so I will have to dye it. But I have had so many times people asking me two things. First of all, do you like working with wefted hair or bulk? And the answer is always wefted hair, because wefted hair is so easy to work with. If you want to dye the hair, you just have a weft and you just dye it and it's all good. Also, that takes us to the second question. How do you dye bulk hair? Well, I'm going to show you how I dye it, and I'm going to show you the whole procedure. This video is going to be a standalone just for how to dye bulk hair without scrambling it, without losing the ends, without making it non-remy and stuff. The material that you will need is some scrap cheap lace or tulle. This is the BHT lace that I'm using here. I have already used it. You can see the crease here. And of course you're gonna need a bigger piece if you have a lot of hair, but for this purpose I think that this is gonna be enough, because no, I'm gonna need more, but it's okay. Let me just do this part first, and I'm gonna do the second one and the third one off camera. So what you need is to have a piece that can fold on itself and fall correctly and equally on all sides. So I'm gonna open it up like that, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this hair and spread it here as good as I can, and I want them to have, I don't want them to be too grouped. I don't like this, for example, and this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread this apart a little more just to be sure. And then I'm taking this, I'm folding it on top, and now I'm gonna take some sewing needles, pins, sorry, not needles, pins. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin it down approximately. It doesn't have to be too perfect, so as to maintain it like that. Now that I have it pinned, you can see that I can lift it and it's not gonna go anywhere. And the next step is to sew it with a sewing machine, so I have to rearrange the whole work area here. And now I'm going to sew it down, and I have the biggest stitch length because I don't want it to be too dense. I want it to be able to be removed easily. This must go below. And I'm gonna try to keep the hair spread. So as you can see, I did them all, and now I'm going to remove the pins. I have prepared some dye with a little bit of bleach and the developer, and I'm gonna do a couple of things here. The first thing I'm gonna do is to apply a coat of this here. And now I'm going to penetrate the whole thing with a lot of dye. I see a couple of clumps, but they will be just dissolved. And I want to make sure that it's so nicely saturated, because I don't want to have a bad dye job to the hair. Now what will happen is that this mesh, as you can see, the dye passed on the other side, but of course I'm gonna flip it and apply dye on this side as well, pushing it inside, making sure that it's gonna penetrate all the layers. When you dye hair this way, in the part where you have the layers, you need extra dye, because you really want to have this extra amount to penetrate everything. And I'm whispering because people are sleeping, so you get the point. So now I'm gonna take another and I'm gonna place the other one right over here, and this time I'm going to add a little bit more bleach because I want this to turn slightly lighter. And to close this as well, I'm gonna do it like that, and I'm gonna let it process for about 10 to 15 minutes, because I don't really want this to be over bleached or over saturated, or sorry, over bleached or over dyed. Now I'm gonna take the thing out because it already processed as far as I can see. I'm gonna wash it, and you will see next how I just take the hair and put it all back together into the bundle that it used to have. So I'm gonna have to go to the bath to do that, and I'm gonna come back to you. After I washed it and then I let it dry, as you can see it's super dry now, you can also give it a little bit of help with some heat or your blow dryer or anything, it wouldn't matter. And as you can see, the hair is still intact, and I have the lighter color, which is a little bit more of a warm tone, honey blonde, dark honey blonde, and this one, which is just the dye with the slight amount of bleach. Remember before this was the first one that I did, and you might have a little bit of knotting up here, but it's just fine. And now to take all this hair out of the thing, all you have to do, remember when I told you that we have to make very long stitches, is because now I'm gonna pull one of the threads and it's gonna be easily removed. because the more stitches you put, the closer you put the stitches, the tighter they are and the more difficult it is for it to get unraveled. Actually, I should start from the bottom, so let me just... I'm gonna start from the bottom because it's easier and more convenient. And now I can actually lift this, but before I do that, I'm gonna make sure that these ends here are lined up correctly. I'm gonna grab it, and then there it is. Might have a little bit of tangling due to the process, but there it is. And it's a warm tone, like medium to dark brown. So what I'm gonna do is put an elastic. I'm gonna do the same thing for that. I'm finding the root. This is the root, so I'm gonna start from the end. Be a little extra careful with the last one. You might have to make sure that you're holding everything correctly and nicely and snugly. And then take everything like that, brush it a little bit, grab it, and then release the tail. Brush out any potential knots. And I'm putting an elastic. The key to make it happen is to have a mesh. The bigger the holes, I can say the better for penetrating the dye, and you have to take notice. You need to super saturate the whole thing, otherwise it's not gonna work. You can see that it's so uniform. There are no patches or anything. Even the area that was inside the lace looks very good and very beautiful. And I have my two different colors for blending. Nice and glossy. So yeah, and also don't throw this away, obviously. You can use it a million times if you want to, for dyeing hair or bleaching it or doing anything you want. It's super easy and super nice, and I'm gonna put it aside. And I know that this is not for wig making, it's just because, you know, it's bleached numerous times. It might get a little damaged through the process, but everything is good. So I'm ready to use this hair for this new hairline, and I'm gonna have an individual video for this hairline. So this video has come to an end, and ask me anything else you want. Thanks for watching.